Hey everyone, Mr. Newman here. I'm just going to show you a real quick video on a few example problems for properties of exponents. So first of all, notice that when we multiply, you multiply the coefficients, that means the number out in front, multiply by each other, so 2 times 2 is 4, and the exponents, or the powers, get added together, so 2 plus 3 is 5. Let's skip down. I'm not going to do every one, so skip on down to number 3. Notice that here again, 4 times 2 is 8, and we're going to add the negative 3 and positive 2. That becomes negative 1, but we don't want to leave it like that. We want to write it in the denominator, so you can write it like 8 times 1 over r. You could also write this as 8 over r. Either of those are acceptable or good answers. You actually really need to be able to recognize that both of them are valid answers. All right. On down here, when we add all the different parts together, notice, or multiply, notice that the x's multiply and get you x squared, because 3 plus negative 1 is 2, and the y's, negative 3 and 3, become 0. But we cannot leave it like this because, remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So, we write it simply as 4x squared. Notice that we can't combine the x and the y in any way. They each stay independent, and the exponents just get added to the similar variables. All right, let's come on down here. Next, we're going to do number 10. Notice that when we multiply it together, the exponents get added, and you have x to the 5th, y to the negative 2nd, but we don't want to leave it like that. We want to put the y in the denominator. So you can either write it like this, x to the 5th, times 1 over y squared, or even better, x to the 5th over y squared. Either of those is acceptable again. Next one we're going to do is number 11. Notice it's x squared to the 0 power, but remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. Doesn't matter what's inside the parentheses, to the 0 power it equals 1. So that's 1. All right, over here, I want to show you that whenever you raise something inside parentheses to a power, you need to raise each of those things to that power. This only works when everything is multiplication. So we have 2 times x squared. You can't have any addition or subtraction. If everything on the side of the parentheses is being multiplied together, like this is the 2 and the x squared, then you can raise each of those to the power. 2 to the negative 4th becomes 1 over 2 to the 4th, while x squared to the negative 4th, when you have a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. This can be written in the denominator, so we could write it like 1 over 16 and x to the 8 also in the denominator. All right, let's try another one. Down here, number 19, notice I have all of those things to the negative 1st power, so I'm going to rewrite it first as each of those things to the negative 1st power. 2, and then the x to the 4th, and then y to the negative 3rd. Remember, a power to a power is multiplication, so the 2 to the negative 1st is just 1/2, but the x to the 4th to the negative 1st, we multiply that 4 and that negative 1, the powers. You get negative 4. Also, y to the negative 3rd to the negative 1st, that negative 3 and negative 1 multiplied together, and a negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. So we end up with this. The x to the negative 4th has to be in the denominator, so the best way to write that is put your y to the 3rd in the numerator and 2x to the 4th in the denominator, because 1/2 has the 2 in the denominator. Right below it will be the last one we'll do here. Notice that we have r squared on top and r to the 3rd on the bottom. Division means subtract the powers, so 2 minus 3 becomes negative 1. Well, that negative 1 can't stay like that, so we're going to write that r to the 1st in the denominator. So it's 1 over 2r, and we don't even need to put a 1 there because it's r to the 1st. We can just put 1 over 2r. Thank you for watching.